this computer.
Good.
There we go.
How are you, Matt?
Oh, not so bad. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, is that a second-gen Sparks machine in the background?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, I too have a second-gen Sparks
Hey,
machine.
very nice. Very nice. And Vuich just isn't letting us see what's in his background. And now we still can't hear you. That's probably for the best, though.
Oh, the giant Utah flag. That's all that's in the background.
Ah,
Don't want to upset those BYU and Utah State fans, you know.
I see.
We're thicker skinned than BYU fans
True.
That's true.
There's that.
because
Yes.
we're used to it. We expect to lose. So
They should expect to lose too. Let's be fair here. Oh man. Who did Utah State play last weekend?
that was Colorado State on a game they should have lost.
Oh,
It was the one that Colorado State decided to
Oh,
send
that's
out their
right.
field goal team when they didn't need
That-
to.
I did see that.
Yeah, they totally gift wrapped that game.
Yeah, they did.
I'll take that. I didn't come to the last one, or I wasn't able to. How many people turned out?
Last time, about
Yeah.
20.
Oh, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Ooh, I guess I should pull up. Is anybody really good with Horizon?
No, I am not.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, then I will do it here.
I know
I
enough
don't
to
know
be
what
dangerous.
kind of demo he wanted. At least pull up the interface. Okay, login. One unaccepted assignment from Andrew Van Wagner and Horizon.
There's been a lot of those I've been getting as he's been testing.
It's too funny. He's like, "Are you assigning games already?" He's like, "Oh, you're seeing that?"
That makes me feel better because I actually texted him with the same question going, did you really schedule me for 3 Sunday night games?
It's funny. Yeah, he was hitting me up for the 7 a.m. Saturday squirts, so I think I'd still rather have that one.
Let's see if they're ready for it. It's my meeting.
Oh, Mr.
Greetings.
Fior, how's the weather down
Oh, it is beautiful.
there? Yeah,
I would show you, but I don't want you guys to feel bad.
that's fair.
It's about 82 degrees and just nice cool breeze coming in off the ocean.
Nice.
We got delayed for dinner, so I may not be on the call.
That's all right.
Okay.
You're kind of an
I will
international
come back
visitor,
I
so
will come back if I can.
yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Bye. Well, Sarah, hi. Who are we with this evening? Nice.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
Ah, I hear that.
Nice.
Well, we even got James Casper. He can explain his own videos then.
They're all you, man. They're all you.
It was mostly just you and McPhee on a lot of those videos, huh?
The worst refs out there.
Well, nobody's going to argue that.
That's not true. It's just that you happen to be on video.
I don't know. You should have heard what McPhee and I were told yesterday.
Oh, what happened?
Well, just another, we're responsible for we're ruining hockey.
Oh, you personally? Well,
Mhm.
yeah.
We're the ones that created it.
Yeah. Was this high school or what?
Of course.
Of course. I mean, I get told that in men's league, so I guess.
Playing or roughing?
Both.
Where's Andy?
He's got some family stuff going on. So
Gotcha.
he had to not appear tonight. Yeah, well, I would agree with that. I think that's pretty on point there, Sarah.
Pat, do you know if there's a reminder email that was sent out today?
Reminder email. I don't know about that one.
Oh,
I put the reminder on social, but I can only go, I'm only in charge of so many things,
gotcha.
as you well know.
Andy sent one out last night, though.
Okay.
A reminder email?
Maybe I deleted it. I didn't see one.
You only get like 6,000 from Arbiter every day, so.
That's true. I get a ton of emails. I
I don't think I ever got a Bewitch.
don't know. That's a nice shirt there, Austin.
This is a tough choice between my Ute one, Jazz one, or Bruins one.
Yeah, well, the Bruins are sucking right now, and the Utes suck anyway. Are the Jazz winning games? I don't pay attention to basketball.
The Jazz are playing; they're winning right now. But yeah, that I was watching the Bruins game, and that was not pretty.
Yeah, no, they. I was happy to leave at intermission. That's for sure.
Yeah, I feel ya.
I don't know how long you guys want to wait for more people to roll in.
I think 5 minutes is plenty. We can get started.
Okay. I suppose they can go see the recording if they want. Okay, let me share my screen here. Everybody see that okay? Yep. Okay, great. So like I said before, Andy had a little bit of family trouble today, so we're kind of picking up the slack tonight. So I'm gonna apologize for that. So we're gonna go over a few things here, and then Eric's got some videos and a report on the high school meeting, and then we're happy to take any and all of your questions. So to start off with some statistics, October we saw 636 games as an association. That was boiled down to 1,436 assignments, which is nuts. November is already starting off strong, and I know games are continually being added. So right now we've got 626 games, 1,405 assignments, but I just saw a whole batch of games come through recently, so that's only going to grow, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult this month. I'm going to skip that and come back to it because we do have a bunch of tournaments coming up. So we've got the High Mountain Shootout that I know an email went out about a week ago about. That's 83 games. So we're going to kind of need everybody on deck for that one. I believe is that in only Park City? I can't remember.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Then we've got the Beehive Showcase for the colleges. I'm not sure how many games that's got going on, but that comes up to 18th through the 21st. Then we've got Ogden's Thanksgiving Tournament. That is 11/26 through the 28th. We're unsure on the total amount of games there just yet. Then we've got a My Hockey tournament coming up at the beginning of December, which already has a ton of games ready to go for it. And then just looking really far ahead, we have Grizz Cup coming up. That's the 14th through the 17th of January. And I'm sure we're going to have to bring guys in to help work those games because that's an unholy number of games to get done in that weekend. Backtracking a little
Matt, we
bit.
also have the girls' weekend down in Provo the same weekend as the High Mountain Shootout.
Oh,
So
that's right.
There's another 50 games there that weekend.
And that's just U19, right?
14, 16, 19.
14, 16, 19. Do you know how many games that was?
I think it's like around 40 to 50. I can't remember exact number.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of games coming up either way. And that's only in Provo, right?
Yep.
Nice. For October, we had 110 officials and 12 scorekeepers that actually worked a game. Our average games worked was about 12 per official. Our number one getter was Mr. Carson. Nicely done, sir. Thank you so much.
That changed as of tonight because Brett just worked 3 games.
Oh, nice. You got more coming up here, Carson, for to finish off that battle for October.
Oh, yeah, I think I'll still be number one.
Brett will finish listed with 66 now, I think, is what he's gonna finish with.
Yeesh. Then we got Brett, Mr. Davies, as always, Doug Brown, and then Teapot and Speckman bringing up the rear. Nice job, guys. We need all of you, all of us, working as many games as we are comfortable with or able to do. So thank you guys for making so much time available. That's awesome. Don't forget, you're gonna get spammed pretty heavily over the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna apologize for that now about this seminar. We had a bunch of requests for seminars for some people that couldn't make the earlier ones, and we still need more people to come work. So please, if you have anybody that you think might want to do this or that you could convince to do this, get them the information because we're going to need all the help we can get by the end of this season.
Do we know when that's going to be on USA Hockey? I had someone reach out to me and said it wasn't there yet.
Wasn't on. Okay, I can double check for that.
Okay. I just told them to keep checking and it should be up.
Yeah, it should be up there already. Does
I know
anybody
they
want
looked
to check?
earlier and they said it wasn't.
Yeah, let me put this on my list.
Instead of calling penalties, we should just assign them to the seminar.
There you go. You can either sit for 2 minutes or you can come to the seminar and pay money to sit for another 3 hours. Okay, yeah, we'll double check on that and I'll reach out to you, Austin, to let you know what's going on. Okay, I think a few of you have seen this. We are switching from Arbiter to a different scheduling system. We're shooting for a January 1st live date for switching that system. We've already bought the software for it. We are just building in all the game codes and getting everything ready to go. For those of you that have worked some of the junior leagues around here, it is going to be Horizon. So it's going to be the same system there. It's a little bit easier. It ties all of our scheduling into one system, which is nice. It does save our association quite a bit of money for yearly fees, so that's also nice. One of the things that I think our officials are going to be the most happy with is it is really easy to set up direct deposit, so you won't have to get paper checks anymore. There is a service fee. Does anybody remember what the service fee is? Under $1. It's like 80 cents a check or something like that. For
85.
the direct 85 cents. There you go. 85 cents per check for the direct deposit. which I don't think anybody's really going to complain over. And the biggest change for our officials is going to be that you are going to open your schedule for when you're available and not for when you are not available. So instead of blocking out, you are going to be opening up. And I will briefly show you what that looks like. This is the interface that I've already logged in here. It'll tell you if you've got unaccepted assignments here. And for your availability, the default is blocked out. And so you can go in here and change the availability to available before a certain time, after a certain time, not in between, and then you just set up different times as you go. So the default on here is going to be that you're blocked out, which I actually prefer because that leads to less declined games. Anybody have questions on that so far? We're going to put together kind of a video that orients everybody to it once we do get closer to the switch date. So look for that in December. But this change is coming and we're hoping that it starts on January 1st.
So it pretty much looks like your calendar now, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it really does. You guys want to see my arbiter? It looks the same. It's not great, but you know, those in power have the power to override my blocks and arbiter, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it looks the same. Good.
I'm assuming there's a mobile app.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, there you go. I've never used it.
Yes, there's a mobile app. There's the online version. Nice thing about this is if you have games you want to get covered, you'll also have the ability to basically put those back in and have someone cover them, accept them instead of texting 65 people. You can just put them up there, and if anybody wants them, they'll take them.
Yeah, there is.
Awesome.
The TBA calendar is not.
The mobile is much better than than Arbiter's mobile too.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? I've never actually used Arbiter's.
It's 2021, Matt. You should try it app sometime.
I just, you know, I'm not that tech savvy, I guess.
If you accept games in the arbiter too, that's helpful too.
I accept all the games thrown at me in Arbiter most of the time. All right, so like he was saying, there's this TBA request. Like we can put games out there and people can volunteer to work certain games. So that will also be an option when the time comes. Anybody have questions on Horizon, that move? Nope. Okay, perfect. We are going to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and Mr. Gearloff is going to take over.
And hopefully I've got my router issue fixed so that
Oh, yeah.
I don't get frozen again.
Yikes.
Yeah. So before I start going into videos, just a little recap. Last Thursday, Tim and I met with almost all of Utah high school hockey coaches and or trustees, in which they obviously had some concerns and some frustrations over the new standards, new emphasis. They clearly, not all the coaches either got their new rules or emphasis or chose not to read them. But overall, the meeting itself went very well. We had a bunch of videos that Jim Casper was nice enough to put together, and we went through a number of different situations. And it wasn't all, here is a play where a penalty happened, and here's why we called it. We actually had a handful of examples of this is the proper way to body check a player that has the puck. So it wasn't just us explaining why we were calling something. We also showed examples of why something was a good play. So it wasn't all just negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a couple of these videos. We'll watch them and then get your input to see what your take is, if it's a penalty, if it's not a penalty, what you would call and why. So let me share my screen. penalty. And let's go to, whoops, wrong one. Okay. So here's our first one.
Oof.
Love hearing that reaction. So what are we thinking on this? Anyone have a call? What do you think?
Honestly, it's too choppy, at least for my.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
That's what I
really
was-
choppy.
That's what I was afraid of.
Looks like he hit him before the puck even like just made the attempt on the hit. So I'd probably go interference or a rough, one of the two, just because there's no attempt to play the puck. He just dropped his shoulder and kind of just put him down.
Yeah.
I do 2 and 10 for boarding at the most.
Boarding. Okay. Why would we go 2 and 10 for boarding?
It just looks like he was in a vulnerable position. Again, it was too choppy to really tell. I probably would have gone interference just seeing how it is, but if it was a lot smoother, then just because he's close enough, he may have gotten head first with how close he is to the boards. He puts him in a vulnerable spot.
Okay. And that was the overall consensus, and was interference was the call. There was no attempt to play the puck, and the player in black didn't have possession of the puck yet either. So that was the justification. So that was the correct call.
Just so you know, we went 2 and 10. That video doesn't show it, but that was the guy had not played the puck and he wrecked him. Like the guy laid on the ice for 10 minutes. So, I mean, it doesn't show it in the video, right? But the kid was injured and he wrecked him pretty good. So we went 2 and 10.
All right, good. Let
What
me know
was
how
that?
this.
How do you call it 2 and 10 for interference? So was there a misconduct
No,
added to it?
No, we didn't call interference. I don't remember what we exactly called, but it wasn't an interference.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let me know how this one works. Was this video any better?
It was better.
Slightly. I dropped a link in the chat. If that link, you might be able to download the PowerPoint that has the videos if anybody wants it.
Yeah, that's basically what I had done. I had downloaded them from.
Right. So anybody else that wants to pull that up on your own machine, go for it.
So we'll take a look one more time. So what are we thinking on this one?
Roughing.
Charging.
To me, it appears that he was probably leading with his elbow. So I'm guessing there's either an elbow there or it's going to end up hitting him in the head, where it's going to be head contact.
So one of the big determining factors on this and making this call was that if you look at where this player, the dark jersey, where the dark player starts, he's right up against the boards. And as Jim pointed out when we talked through this video the first time, is he actually swerves way out towards the dot just to come back and deliver a punishing hit to that player with no attempt to play the puck. So the overall consensus is that's a roughing penalty with the new emphasis, because the only goal that this player, the intent was appears to be was to blow that player up as much as possible. And so, and that's Jim had the call right away. Jim, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, it's exactly, I mean, the whole intent of that kid, like you said, was to blow that guy up. He was, when you saw the video, he's right. The guy, that white jersey is the guy with the puck. And this guy, that guy was a bad skater. The guy that hit him was a really good skater. And his whole intent was just to blow a kid up, which is his, you know, and it was a little high too, but.
Okay. Let's see this one. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. So what are we thinking on this one? If it's not too choppy.
Call it rough.
I was just finishing his check, coach.
Yeah, sorry, coach. He doesn't even look down at the puck and look where the blade of his stick is. It's above the knees, and he's not making an attempt on the puck, and his hands actually come up and almost look like they make head contact, but we're not sure. So we're going 2 minutes rough for you, coach.
Can you pause it, Gearloff, right when he hits him?
Absolutely. There we go.
I mean, he's launching up, right?
Yep.
Yikes.
I don't remember. What did you have on this call?
I just called it rough.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm fine with rough.
I mean, again, his sticks perpendicular to the ice. He made no attempt to play the puck, right? Or parallel to the ice, sorry. He made no attempt to play the puck there. All he's trying to do is same thing like the other way. He's trying to blow the kid up.
Yeah, his whole purpose is body contact.
All right. I think this one you'll find to be a no-brainer.
I like those. Oof.
So once
Yikes.
again, it's just simply a player with no attempt to play the puck and just blowing a kid up.
I think that one was really bad. I don't know if you can. It didn't really play it. This is a different one. There you go. Yeah, it skips it, but
Yeah, because that Dark passes the puck and then this kid lays the hit, right?
yeah, it's very similar to the other one.
Yep.
Like home 10, I mean, sticks up in the air, just laid a kid out, right?
Just being a big bruiser. Not allowed anymore.
Yeah, you can do it. Just got to do it right.
Yeah.
So let's go back to our favorite red player, number 12. Let's see if we learned anything from the first penalty.
I always like it when both refs have their arm up.
Is that Mr. Krakunis?
It was, yep.
Yeah.
So consensus is player did not learn his lesson from the first hit.
So now he's got 2.
Yep. So on this hit, again, let's look at where the contact is. He's thrusting up into the player's, almost into his chin. No attempt to the puck. As you can see, the puck is actually behind the red player, so he didn't even touch it. And so again, another example, pretty easy example of that's not the intent of what a body check is for. And now you can go penalty box and think about it again. So this one is a great example, and it's very similar to one of the videos, the training videos that USA Hockey had, in which you have a player that's already engaged with another player along the boards trying to fight for the puck, and having a second player come in and deliver a check. And again, the beauty is you got both officials with their arm up.
It's different when they come in and join the battle though, right, guys? Like if they come in there and they're just trying to work the puck free, that's one thing. But when they come in and just lay a guy out, that's different.
They put that under the guise of interference, right? Not roughing in those cases.
I called
You
a
could-
rough on that because he kind of blew that kid up too. I think you can go either one.
Okay.
So this one's a little subtle, so I'm not sure if you'll pick up on it very well with the choppy video. So is everyone able to see that one?
Yeah, did you call on the second white player?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he
It's
just-
I think it's
Comes
number
in right
14 right there.
here.
Just rolls him into the boards, yeah.
And fortunately, he didn't like plaster him into the boards head first. He did ease up because that had potential to be really ugly. But again, it's a defenseless player. It is from behind technically, but the player is in a defenseless and vulnerable position. Has no idea that that player is coming to hit him.
And Eric, I think you bring up a good point. I think we got to remember on the defenseless player, if someone does check them from behind in the boards, call the worst penalty, right? Like we got to call the major penalty. Like this one, he didn't really get him that hard. Like in the other one where he just destroyed him, if that was his back to him because the guy was kind of facing him when he hit him down, but if his back's to him, you got to go check from behind and not a rough on this, right? Like
Correct.
we just got to call the major, call the more violent penalty, call the penalty that's been to the, degree of what they're doing.
I think that's been the problem across the board and why everyone's so mad is because a lot of guys would call that a rough. Right. So half of us would go 2 and 10 from behind, the other half would go a rough, right? So there's that's the problem, I think.
And that's why we're trying to do these calls as a association, right? To get more people on the same page.
Yeah, and Jim's right. And that was one of the topics of meeting with the coaches was the consistency that the bar for different locations, different officials there seems to be a very large gap between the two. And so having these trainings, looking at these videos is to try to help narrow that gap so it's not as bad. All right. This is one that I find interesting because this would have been a penalty even before this year's emphasis.
Is that
Basically,
interference
you
on
got a
blue?
player.
Angling.
Absolutely. He
changes
angles
skate
them into the
lanes.
boards.
Yeah, he jumps in front, like tries to change his skate lane to get in front of White.
He just angles them into the boards.
Yeah.
So
So
that's one that. Oh, go ahead.
So that you would call that interference?
Yes.
And where's the puck right now? I can't tell.
Under blue.
So pause it right,
So this,
pause it. Oh,
sorry, I'll try to get
that's
it
okay.
right.
Go back. Because this was my game too, but pause it right. Keep going.
Try to find my mouse again.
Right there. So the puck is like just about to be, the puck is like on the yellow up here. Like,
Okay.
yeah, right around there.
Okay.
I can't believe you guys didn't see my cursor when I was moving it around. But yeah, so, and here's the whole thing, right? That white guy was out skating the blue guy. He's a better skater. They were hash marks, and the blue guy drove them right into the boards, right?
So was it interference because he put them into the boards? And this
Yep.
is, I'm really new, so forgive me for my question. I thought that you could use body positioning to overtake a skater going after the puck, which he did fine.
They're fine right there, right?
Okay.
They're fine right there, but as he continues, he totally checks him into the boards right there.
Okay.
Because again, he's like, white guy's behind him, white guy's in front of him, and he angles him off and checks him into the boards.
Okay.
Like if he doesn't check him there, I mean, I don't know what everyone else thinks. I mean, it's hard to tell just watching a video, but if he doesn't check him there, I probably don't even call that, because they're tied up, and that's what they're talking about, right? They're tied up and they want you to be battling.
I would still call the interference just because he uses his arm to basically slow the white player down before he even checks him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still an interference there because he's slowing him down by interfering with his arm, not just the body contact, but taking away his momentum by arm barring him just so he can drive him into the wall.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it depends, like, if the white guy beats him to the puck too, right? Do it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I mean, if
the white guy
the
blows right
holds
past
up and
him,
the white guy gets around him,
yeah, there's no call
probably
there
don't call
whatsoever.
it. But if he totally prevents him from getting the puck,
Yeah,
then
like in this case, it's interference from all day long because the arm bar, then he rides him with the arm bar into the wall just to gain that advantage, right? So
yeah,
either way, with that one, it's going to be an interference if he doesn't beat him to the puck, right? Like you said, Jim.
yeah.
All right, good questions. Okay, so this one was an example. I think this is the one. Yeah. So this is a short one and kind of quick.
Elbow.
But I would be.
Of course, it chops
Could
it up
possibly.
right when the contact's made.
Yeah, that's my internet. I'm happy about that. So outside of the elbow possibility, because it's kind of hard from this camera angle, are we seeing anything else?
Never played the puck. Like his whole intent again was like to lay the body.
Possibly.
At least that's what
looking at. Yeah, and the one thing that does help in the white player's defense on this is that's his stick that's on the ice and the puck is right there. So he may have deflected that as that player shot it.
What did we call here?
We had no call on this one. And I think, Jim, that might be you on that one.
Yep. Again, I
So
mean,
go
it's video and live game, right? I think the one thing we have to remember, it's still hockey. And then the purpose is intent that we talk about. Like, I think his intent is to kind of blow him up, but he kind of misses him. His stick's down. Like, it's a hard thing to tell sometimes. He doesn't blow him up, you know. And I'll tell you what, we can have this a debate as an association. Utah hockey players checking don't know how to check, right? A lot of them check with their arms.
Forearms.
So, I mean, you literally could call a penalty every hit, but, you know, it's something that we have to kind of just see in the game.
So on this next one, I know that there were email threads and chains that went out regarding hip checks. So we're going to watch this one and get your thoughts.
I mean, he closes down that space really good.
Did he make an effort on the puck?
That's tricky, right?
So according to the email that Matt Leaf sent out and also the video presentation that they did on USA Hockey's weekly training, this is a legal hit. And the reason for a couple of reasons. One, player's stick is down. It's below his knee, so that's not a problem. The contact is made with the trunk or the hip of his body, and he's hitting the trunk or torso of the puck carrier. So there's no tripping. He's not blowing him up. So he's just simply separating the player from the puck with a legal hit.
And then he's immediately looking for the puck.
Correct.
Well, keep in mind what Matt said in his email that he sent out to when we got that was, as long as the stick is down, the hip check is fine. You don't have to technically be playing the puck. You're just trying to not blow the guy up. A hip check is still 100% legal.
Yeah, and it
Yep.
also said,
And
it also says that the hip check's a lost art, right?
is.
Like
100%.
and it's they don't want to take that part out of the game. They still want us to be able. And I mean, he's closing the gap there, right? Now, when does that become a penalty?
I would say in this case, Jim, if his stick, like previous examples, he's nowhere near trying to keep the stick down. That's per the email that I read when he sent it out, that would be a penalty. But in a hip check, I mean, if he gets too low, kind of low blows him, low bridges him, then yeah, I mean, we're probably going to go clipping on that.
Yeah, below the knee, right?
Yep. But where the definition of a check is, trunk of your body, shoulder to hip, right? Or down to knees, basically almost to a point, but he delivers it hip to hip. There's no penalty there on that one.
I'll tell you guys what, I call this as a penalty because before I saw that thing from Matt Leaf, I was understanding that you had to play the puck. So this was new to me, right? This is where we're all kind of getting on the same page. Like they were mad about that hit, but I told him, I'm like, he didn't make an attempt on the puck. But then after reading, I never saw the thing from Matt Leaf until I think Yerloff and I were talking, or Matt and I were talking, and then I found it, and now I know that's a legal hit.
So I had this conversation with a coach the other day. Shoulder right to the chest, stick is down. It goes through him. It's a hard hit, but his shoulder right to the chest. Yeah, it was a hard hit. When does that become a penalty, right? It's not. There was technically a stick to stick contact, but he was not playing the puck whatsoever. Where's the criteria for that?
Right. Are you talking about a one-on-one?
Right?
Yeah, one-on-one. The guy, this happened to be in a high school game. I mean, the smallest kid on the ice takes out one of the biggest kids on the ice. The coach is freaking out on me because I called no call on it. It was just a solid shoulder straight to the chest. Yeah, the kid got the wind knocked out of him, but the coach went ballistic. You got to take those hits out of the game. It's like sticks down. He's coming in. He gets square right in front of the guy. It just happened to be a hard hit that a kid got the wind knocked out of him and went right to the bench. Where is that line? Do we call that illegal? Is that illegal? To me, in my mind, yes. A hard hit is still part of the game per Matt's email, as long as it's done within the confines of what they're saying. Stick below the knees. Doesn't necessarily have to be an attempt to take the puck away, because you are allowed to separate the man from the puck using your body, as long as you're not just trying to go kill somebody, right?
Yeah, because that's the intent of a body check is still to separate the player from the puck.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm trying to get with these is like, where does that line cross? And like I said, Jim, videos don't do the justice. You got to also feel the game, right? Are the guys going out there trying to headhunt throughout the game and things like that? That's also going to play into criteria of what you're calling a penalty. I mean, we all have those kids that want to go just kill people, and you've got to kind of set that standard. But little clips like this are hard to define. What is a penalty? What isn't? Like this one, like you said, Jim, is not. After reading Matt's email, no way. It's a penalty, right?
Correct. Okay. So again, this is another example. It's real simple. This is not even this year. This would have been a penalty any year. Pretty easy, straightforward cross check. once the white player loses going for the puck, he misses it, so he just turns around and blasts the kid from behind.
Which creates a turnover too, right?
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. They end up going on a 3-on-2, it looks like. This is our favorite. So what would the penalty be in this situation?
Did he miss him?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of jumps over him, but still the intent is he's trying to make that late avoidable hit no matter what, whether it's contact or not. You still have to penalize that player for trying to lure the hit late.
I mean, you can't call a penalty there because he never touches him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have anything there, Jim?
No, the guy avoided the hit.
Yeah.
But
That's
intent,
clearly a 5-game, maybe a
Oh,
match penalty.
There he is.
Hey,
There's
there's Mr. Peterson.
Oh, worst ref in the history.
All right.
Wait. So you guys are joking about it, but what was the final decision on that one? No call?
I would be hard pressed to call that one, personally.
I think
So-
depending on the angle on where the official is, you could possibly go knee or trip, even though, because it's hard to tell how much contact was really made. That looks like there's enough contact to the leg. I would have gone trip
Okay.
or knee.
Because I could see from a game control thing that if you're letting someone continue, take shots like that, even though they miss, you're setting it up for more of those, right? So you'd want to
Yeah,
call it.
Also, where's the puck
That
at?
is correct. It's, as of right now, if you look, the puck is right here on the blue line.
So that's what I'm saying is you could go, late avoidable check. You could technically call it bystander.
That's
Just
so fast though.
I'm saying by standards. I mean, the puck is gone. He's not trying to make a play at the puck. Most of us probably aren't calling anything there because there isn't much contact.
What's the next slide there? Like the next section of it.
That's what I was just getting to. So the blue player doesn't have the puck, it's gone. And contact's about to happen.
I mean, to me, that player doesn't have a natural skating stride. His legs are extremely wide. Like Gerloff said, you could probably go trip or knee.
I'll tell you what it did. I mean, it looks like he's moving his leg out. I mean, this was my game. I didn't even have a penalty because it didn't look like he really hit him. It looked like he missed him.
It's like a jump cut.
Yeah, and
That's a hard.
remember,
Yeah, it's hard.
you can't make up a penalty, right? You can't just because you thought it was going to be. It has to be in order to be a penalty.
And like
Yeah,
so we're
and
playing this by a clip that we're watching a million times, right? Live.
Right.
I don't know if I'm calling that either, Jim. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, from this angle, it's up top. You see more than what we're seeing on the ice. I'm probably, like you said, not calling that because there isn't much contact there. That play happens probably once a game that doesn't get called.
But I'll tell you what, if he does hit him, 100% penalty.
Or 100% takes him out.
All right, this is a good one.
Ooh.
So would this or would this not be a penalty?
It's everything but the finish, right?
Consensus is basically the puck carrier is the one that is dancing around the defender. The defender does not change stride, doesn't change their skating lane. Yes, there's a little bit of contact, but the puck carrier is the one that changed that angle, not the player trying to deliver the check.
Also,
Right.
the wide player kind of leaves his feet to make that avoidable check. I have a hard time calling a penalty when the guy is jumping and trying to make a move, to call that a penalty.
I agree.
This one's really choppy to see it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that this is a hard one to be able to tell. Even on my computer, it was. Might skip this one.
No, I mean, play it. I mean,
All right.
see, I mean, basically the defender, the guy with the puck, the white, starts skating, the defender just kind of like takes a step, almost like that number 12 in red, but not as hard.
I don't know why this is doing this.
Yeah, I see it, Jim, 'cause I'm watching on my computer at full speed. I mean, yeah, he does. I mean,
Sticks
honestly,
up too, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
stick's like
it
waist high.
sticks up. He does in the wide view, faster view, you can see him throw out his leg a little bit. Again, real time, that's a hard call to make because he doesn't really make a lot of contact with the kid. The kid just bounces off. But it's hard.
Yeah, this one we thought it was a difficult one to be able to make that determination.
So how much contact do we need with the new emphasis of, you know, making an effort on the puck to call a penalty and not call a penalty?
That's where I thought Matt's email was kind of hard because he also says with the intent, right? What's the intent? If the guy's intending to go blow somebody up, even though he doesn't really kill the kid, according to Matt's thing, they want to call. It's the intent. Where do we define intent as a referee? I think that's a personal judgment on every call because my definition versus Jim's definition of intent might be different. What did he intend to do there? I don't know.
But I also think that's the beauty of refereeing and having different refs.
100%. It's your different views of different penalties, right? And I'm agreed. Same with Jim. I think that's great. But that's where it's also hard because, like you said, on the one where we thought there was no penalty on the blue line there, the leg coming out a little bit, what's his real intent there? He sticks a leg out. Do we call it a trip? Do we call it mean because he's intending to do it? Even though it doesn't like make much contact, what's the intent?
Well, look at it this way. It's no different than a slashing call.
Yep.
You don't have to make contact. You know what the intent was. Even if he doesn't connect, it's still a slash.
Yeah. Well, on one of those videos that they do, like, ask the referee things that the USA Hockey does, the guy throws a punch, doesn't make contact, but definitely throws a punch. USA Hockey said that's a fight.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right? Doesn't make contact with throwing a punch, but he intended to, he tried to. So that's right. What's the definition of intent is probably different per official, like Jim said. You got to make your mind up in a split second when you're actually on the ice, right? We can sit here and piggyback these videos all we want, but
Water with lemon?
So what's the consensus with this one? And then Jim can tell us what he really thinks.
I get the feeling that whoever's refereeing the game would say, well, the other guy fell down, so I'm not going to call it. But the blue player went after him, not after the puck, even though he was unsuccessful in doing so.
Absolutely.
His stick went up too, right?
Yep.
Lost the physical battle, but it's not White's fault.
Yeah, so you could, if you really wanted to be the complete embarrassment for the kid, you can go ahead and let him fall down and get knocked to the ice and then give him 2 minutes as well for roughing because he made no attempt to play the puck and his stick was up.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've had like 5 of these this year, and I'm so torn on what to call.
What did you call? Because technically White does extend his arms too to make the hit, so you can technically call both for roughing, because if you watch White, he does extend his arms.
I have a hard
Yeah,
time.
But I'm
I have
not
a hard
going
time
to.
with that
No
one.
way. No,
I'd
no,
say
I
there's no
can't call
call there,
White.
but I'm
That's
not
just
gonna
a
call either.
reaction.
I know,
That's a
well, yeah,
reaction.
100% reaction, but still, I'm not calling as a referee in the live game. I'm probably not calling anything there. The embarrassment of the black, player getting taken out by the white player is probably hard enough punishment for him when he tries to make the hit and gets taken out by himself. That's just me.
I mean, I think you guys are right 100%. It is a penalty on blue, right? Because he's making no effort to play the puck, but at the same time, it's sometimes really hard to make that call.
Yeah, I mean, it is on blue, but man,
So do we make that call? Like,
Well, I think my argument is the same with that interference call earlier that goes into the corner. Is, if blue is interfering, but then he's the guy who's getting knocked down right down the corner and white has the advantage, I probably wouldn't have called that either.
I think Carson, can you go back to that, Giloff? Carson, I think the interesting thing is that the white missed the puck, right? Like, and this is the hard thing with Utah hockey is that in high school is that some of these guys can't handle the puck.
100%.
Right. And so, like, he catches that puck, that changes the whole thing, right? It's down further, Giloff.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. I couldn't remember which one it was.
It's like one of the last
16.
ones.
It's 16.
No.
No, it's 16.
It's 16.
Oh, I was thinking of the wrong one in the corner.
No, it's this one.
16 is the one we were just on.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So we'll do that and that.
So, like, this white player totally misses the puck. Right? So has he, so that's the hard thing too, has he catch, I mean, so the other thing you can say is, does the blue player, we talk about, is that an avoidable hit? Does he have time to miss that hit? Like avoid that hit once he realized the player catches the puck? Because in some ways, if depending how a stick is, if he has possession of that puck, it's probably a clean hit at the same time, right? Again, it's hard to tell in this video.
if he gets that stick down,
right?
yeah.
The game's fast, and if you play and you're like going to hit someone, or all of a sudden they miss the puck, is that the player's checking's fault, or is that the player that missed the puck's fault? It's a hard thing to call, right?
Well, onus is on the player hitting.
Sorry.
Well, it is true. The onus on the player hitting, but with the whole possession control and with the puck, they're emphasizing this year. He never, even if he catches, I don't think he actually has time to make the hockey play as far as possession and control. He's not propelling that puck as soon as he gets hit. He just barely caught it.
Right. You
So
might
he's
call
not
that
made
possession, you
on.
might call that contact right there. That's it.
Yeah,
No
but
control.
that's where, like I said, even if he catches that puck to him, does he have the chance, like you said, to make a hockey play, what USA Hockey wants him to do, propel the puck in his desired direction, right? He's catching it and getting basically hit by a player. Is he still defensive because he's looking down at the puck, trying to catch it?
Right.
That guy's whole intent is to play the body. I don't think even if that guy catches the puck, he has no clue where the puck's going or whether he catches it or not. His whole,
Yeah.
Right. You call a rough here, it's easy to defend, right?
100%.
But
Matt, are
again,
you calling a rough if the guy check-in gets destroyed by the other player?
I'm just saying if you call a rough. Okay. I said
No,
if.
look, I don't like that. This has been my hardest thing on hits like this year for me. Because technically that's a penalty, and I'm not lying, I've had it happen 5 times. And it's
And
been
how
hard
many of
for me
those
to call
5
it
have you
when that
called?
kid gets destroyed. Right? The kid hitting gets destroyed. That's hard to call sometimes.
No, it is.
It is.
But if you're calling the spirit of the rule, that should be a rough, right?
100%.
All
We
right.
got 2 more, right?
Yeah.
No, kind of late.
Yeah, I mean, that puck's gone.
See if we can get it figured out. Yeah, I can't quite see the puck where it's pretty far away, being the furthest across the rink, but did look a little late.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things, he doesn't really hit him, right? Like, pause it when they get to the boards.
Well, McPhee's got his arm up, so
Wait, are we talking about the knockdown in front of the net or what happens in the corner?
what happens
Over
in
in
the
the
corner?
The corner.
McPhee's arm isn't up.
Yeah, it is.
It
It
sure
is?
is.
You watch
Yeah.
the very end, his arm goes up.
Oh, after it?
Yep, right there. Boom.
Arm up.
As
Does?
soon as he mixes contact, watch. Let it roll, get off.
Oh, yep. It
Arm
does.
goes up.
A horrible
His
call.
right hand goes up.
What was McPhee calling? Yeah, I'm fine with that call.
Mark that down.
Yeah.
All right, if McPhee called a penalty, you know it's probably a penalty.
Right.
Here's a tricky one.
You might have to like do your.
Start and stop.
Whoops.
Are we looking at white on red, 96?
96 in the
Yeah.
by the net.
So his stick's like way up above the glass, right? So like,
Exactly.
Per the letter of the law, yeah, it's a
That's a
penalty
pretty easy
again,
one.
but like Jim says, does he really even check him hard? You know.
Well, but you could go elbow there easy.
Oh yeah, you could call it. You could call roughing easily just because the
He
stick's
missed
nowhere near
him.
to play the puck.
He doesn't even hit him.
He missed it. He misses
Yeah,
them.
so I'm saying he misses him. He doesn't. He barely gets him. Not by much. Not to just to kind of throw him off a little bit on the skates, but he doesn't get him with the elbow. But the intent there is the stick's up. There's not playing the puck whatsoever. You could technically probably go roughing if you really wanted to. How many of us in a game are going to call that?
my view, like my opinion is if he slows him down on that hit, like whether or not, like if he slow, like makes the guy, whether he makes contact or not, whether he just barely makes contact, if he slows him down enough, like that still takes away his advantage.
Well, here's the thing also, Austin, is and if you probably had the full video, it looks like White gains the advantage after the hit, right? Causes the turnover, sticks nowhere near the player on the ice. He does get him a little bit to slow him down. Could you call it? Probably. How many of us would actually call it in a real game? Probably not too many.
But again, I think that comes back to the consistency because we like some people would call it, some people wouldn't be like, oh well, right? He kind of made a little bit of contact, so half of us would be like, yeah, no, but he kind of missed him for the most part, right? But other half would be like, well, the intent was there and he kind of clipped him at the end. So how are we gonna call it, right? And then you're the coach going, well, that gets called half the time, and then half the time it doesn't get called. Which way are we going with it? And I know it's game-like scenario, right? So it's like some guy, it just depends. But I that's, yeah, I don't know.
So we're still going to have situations where, and I think we've mentioned it, everyone's mentioned it a couple of times, is there are still going to be some calls that are judgment, and you're never going to eliminate that. Where it becomes the consistency issue is when you have obvious calls that aren't being made. That is the problem. And so in a play like this one, I think it's very easy to explain, yeah, coach, this had the potential of being a penalty, but when I looked at it, he missed your player. So he didn't really make the contact that impeded him or caused a problem with losing the puck. Your player was dumping it around the corner, and I didn't see that there was a penalty. And that's really what you have to be able to do is those questionable ones is you need to be able to explain it and explain it clearly.
And I think, also that's I mean, there's a lot of times we're all working with each other and someone calls a penalty and you're either like, oh, I didn't think that was a penalty, right? And that's the judgment of everyone having different referees. But again, we support each other, right? So no matter what's called, if you're working with someone, you're supporting it and you're backing that person up. And the last thing we want to do is throw someone underneath the bus that we're working with, right? So the important thing is just support and then have that discussion in the locker room afterwards.
Or
Right?
in
I
between
mean, I know
periods, right?
that's the one nice thing about, hanging out in the locker room afterwards sometimes is talking about the game you just worked or situations that happened.
Agreed.
The one thing I'll say, and I know Gerloff and Matt and Andy, I've talked to them a lot about this, and for like Devin and Carson or whoever, Tyler, if you're doing a high school game, most of these games are on video somewhere, right? You can usually find them on YouTube or Facebook Live. Like, feel free to, if something happened in a game and you're unsure, whether you called it or didn't call it, go back and watch it. And then when you watch it, if you still have questions, like reach out to someone, right? Reach out to me or whoever, it doesn't matter, and just talk about it, because that's how we all learn too. I usually go back and every questionable thing that happens in my game, I'll go back and watch if I can. In college and juniors, in high school, I'll go back and watch it because I'm fun. And one, it's nice to watch yourself, but two, you get to see the game from a different angle and you get to learn that way, I know in college, we talk about stuff all the time in the locker room
100%.
after the game. Like Gearloff, we just had that on Saturday, right? Like, did you think that was a call? I mean, we'll sometimes talk about it during the game. But I mean, it's just so I mean, like, just don't be afraid to reach out, and no one's gonna get punished. It's all about getting better. So, and the only way you do it is if you ask. And
yeah, so let me ask a question again, being new and I'm quite a ways away from reffing any check games. In recreational leagues, in the adult recreational leagues, which is basically a non-contact league, that last one, for example, where he went after him and missed him, so the intent was to actually do it in a league where that's not allowed, I would have called that, right?
100%.
Because that's controlling
the
flow of the game.
His intent was to check that guy.
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But
And
Devin,
especially in men's league, because if you don't call that, then that player is going to get pissed that got tried to get checked, and he's going to two-hand him or something's going to happen, right?
And then the team's coming after him. It's call it.
Thank you.
I would give the advice that, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but in kids leagues, go ahead and call it as a body check penalty. But in adult league, I would call it as a rough, because adults don't like to hear that they've been body checked or that they attempted the body check.
No, it's still a body check.
Okay.
Yeah, Carson, I think that goes back to call the correct penalty.
Yeah.
Right.
The USA Hockey Standards is a body check and a contact classification. That is what the penalty is.
Okay.
And in reality, what if he does connect him there? Like, what if his full intent, we're talking men's league, because this is good for Devin and even Tyler too. If in a men's league game, his whole intent is to check that person, what are you calling?
Yeah, if it's against the boards, I'm calling boarding, right? Even if it's partial or missed, because he was going at him or charging.
Okay, let me rephrase. What are your options in a men's league game when they check someone? What are the options for the penalties?
Well, the checking, I don't know. Tell me.
I can give a double minor for roughing.
You can do a double minor for roughing, but I'm not going to give a double minor for that. So Jim, are you asking what the penalty options are for body checking in a checking classification?
Yeah, in men's league.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Or even in not any non-check league. Sorry.
Yeah,
in
a contact sport, in a contact game, not a body checking game, but a contact game.
So a body check, it's a minor, it's a 5 in a game or a match.
Yeah, for reckless endangerment for the major game.
So if you're especially men's league, right? If it's men's league and his whole purpose is to check, why in men's league is someone going to check someone in men's league?
So punish.
Punish them.
for punishment because they're mad, right? So what are you gonna call?
Body check.
I know, like what
But
though? a
2-5 game match? What Jim's
Make
asking
the
is
game
how
5
long?
game.
Say that again,
length?
Austin? For sure, 100%, right? Because first off, we're all adults. There's no reason. His whole intent, he's probably angry, right? And his whole intent is to kind of check that guy for retaliation or something, right? For something that happened earlier in the game. You know, if they're just playing and they collide each other and they check, that's a 2-minute. But someone's intent is to fully check them and blow them up. That is a 5 in a game in men's league. Stop that action, get it out of there, send them home. Have a good night, right?
Okay.
So it's immediate. It's 5-minute major for boarding, checking, charging, whatever, and a game, you're out.
Yep. It
Okay.
used to be, didn't there used to be just a 5, right? Option left. Now it's changed. But
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
rid of all standalone majors.
Yeah, all
Right.
majors now require a game misconduct penalty.
Okay.
So you're right, your options are 2-5 game or match in that case. In that case, there's no other option. I mean, you didn't board him, it wasn't in this case, it wasn't an adult check. He's not far enough off the wall, Devin, to be a boarding.
Okay.
He's not getting him that far off the wall, you know, as far as that goes. He's just delivering a body check. And if that was a checking game and he blows him up, like Jim says, you're probably gonna go 5 in game on that every single time, right? Just there's no intent to do anything besides that,
Right.
blowing him up.
And Austin, I think you said it too, recklessly endangers, right? That's for, it says that in the. for
Especially in a check game.
5 in game.
Yeah, non-check game guys aren't prepared for that hit like that. Half the guys in men's league don't even wear shoulder pads.
That's
No
their fault.
judging. All right.
So would you gauge that hit off the severity of it? Because if somebody goes to hit and it's a light little hit, would you still throw a 5 in a game?
Okay,
not-
I will tell you, I have, as a player, I've been given a 2 for a check, but really it was just a hard angle, and that's about the line, right? Like a good solid
Keep in
angle.
mind, Matt, that this
That's-
year they want in a body contact division like adult league, angling has to be okay, right?
Right,
That's
no, it
the
is.
fine line, but yes. So
But that's what I'm saying is like, that's gotta be your line. It's gotta be
Well-
a decent angle. Beyond that, like if a guy is going in to blow up somebody, that's different.
Well, 100%. So my clarification that would be on that, Matt, is taking away someone's space. You're not going to be dropping your shoulder and coming with an upward motion or not like that, right? You're not going to be overly exerting force into a player if you're just angling them out. As soon as they exert force, it's probably going to be a 2-minute minor for body check. And if they go any harder, they're actually trying to blow someone up. Yeah, it's 5 in game, right? If they're exerting force to angle someone off, you've got to go with the check.
And Devin, I think you have to read the game. What
Yeah,
point of
yeah.
the game is it happening? What's been going on all game? Right?
Has this player been getting hit, slashed or
Yes,
whacked
yeah.
or whatever, right?
That's
And
what
now
you're
he's just
saying.
getting pissed off and he's gonna go kill somebody. Trust me, it happened in my game on Sunday. And yes, the referees only gave a 2-minute penalty, but everyone who's done men's league knows Mike McDonald. He delivers a check to 99% of the people. It's with a lot of force. But they only gave him 2 minutes for checking, even though he literally tried to kill the kid. They only gave him 2 minutes.
Just so we don't talk in circles here, guys. Gearloff, did you have anything else that came out of that high school meeting?
No, the probably the biggest thing is just the emphasis of the fact that not only does the association have the reps back, so does Tim. And that was something that was made very clear, is that we're not going to be reversing any calls. We're not going to be changing anything. But we will continue going through these training sessions. And that was something that the coaches were actually very appreciative of, is that we have been taking steps to try to eliminate the inconsistencies and just get more training to the officials so that we're not running into more of these problems that we had when we initially started, of not calling the appropriate penalty when something happens or not calling anything at all when it's obvious. That was something that they were very thankful for and very appreciative of. And overall, they get it. They were not bashing any of the officials. It was just a lot of questions and a lot of clarification. So we honestly felt that the meeting itself went very well. And from my standpoint, I've now had 3 games, and I'm actually starting to see a decline in penalties and the types of penalties that we're calling. So hopefully we've turned the corner and you'll start seeing improvements in these games.
Good. Okay, does anybody else have any questions, concerns? I've got cheat sheets for everybody and anybody who wants them. I'm gonna get them to as many people as I can to have stacks of them to hand out as they work. They've got the big boy penalties for USA Hockey on one side and the NCAA big boy penalties on the other side. So look for those. If I see you, I'll try and carry a stack. I'll give them out to a couple people, stacks that work a lot. So look for those if you want one.
Cool.
Thanks for doing that, Matt. That's awesome.
Yep. All right, guys, if everybody doesn't have anything, I think we can call it a night. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Have a good
thanks
night.
everyone. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Yeah, see you, Eric.
See you this weekend, Jim.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay.